Yeah, we've been having a little trouble in the first inning, and, when you're constantly behind coming into your first at bat, it makes it a little bit more difficult. So to be able to respond, and ended up taking the lead and then keep adding on, that was big. Obviously, we had a tough trip, and home's been a little bit better to us than the road, so it's a good start for us against a good team.
Sonny had a little bit of problems in the first and then pretty much settled down after that. What changed for him after that?
You know what? Sometimes starters are just a little out of sync in the first inning. And, other than Moreland homer after that, I mean, really sharp breaking ball today. Good fastball down in the zone, movement both sides. So when he's pitching like that, and he's been pretty consistent since he's come back, but the last two outings been the best.
First time he's been in the win column in a while. Is it good to just see him get out there, have some success, and get rewarded for it?
Yeah, with nowadays with starters, it's like, you get to the sixth inning and hand it over the bullpen, and usually it gets decided with the bullpen. So he's the type of starter that wants to factor in and get a decision. So I know that was big for him today.
He hadn't really had big strikeout totals before tonight. Does that tell you something about what he's doing?
Yeah, no, and he can be a strikeout guy. And in the past, when he's really good, when guys get on base, he usually ups it a notch, and that's a lot of times when he gets his strikeouts. But today it was a really sharp breaking ball, and you saw some of the swings at it. When you have a breaking ball that's that sharp, a lot of righties in the lineup, they're going to swing and miss some.
You were talking earlier that you did not have the results of the MRI to yonder.
Right.
What are those results you have then?
Yeah, we do, and nothing wrong structurally. So we'll get him in the cage tomorrow and see how he feels. It was a relief to him, obviously to us as well. Won't start him tomorrow. Maybe a little bit later in the weekend, but good news as far as the MRI goes.
Bob, can you just talk about Frankie and Daniel? You got both of them
Yeah.
in the game tonight. Kind of nursed Frankie through there, and he struck out handling. What are you seeing from him?
Each time it seems like he's getting more and more confident. Now, it gets a couple guys on, so we got to be aware that Moreland's coming up, and probably prudent to get a lefty on him with a couple guys on base. But the Hanley strikeout was big, because if he gets on base somehow, now the bases are loaded, puts a little bit more pressure on Daniel. Now we're going to have to go one more deep in the inning with another bullpen guy. So Frankie's been incrementally getting to the point where we know he's going to get, and I think today, certainly the strikeout of Ramirez goes a long way for him.
Seems like Plouffe's swing is coming around a little
Yeah.
bit. Just what does that mean for your offense?
It is. We need some depth throughout the lineup, and typically when we've been good this year, it's been, the Lowry, Davis, Alonso, and when they're not swinging at times, that's going to happen. You need some depth in the lineup, and Trevor's got a history of hitting. He's swinging about as well right now as he has all year.
Do you allow yourself to think that Sonny might be on his way back to being the Sonny of 14?
You know what? I never think that he's not. Even when he had his, a tough year last year, everybody's going to have a tough year. There were injuries involved in it, but the stuff is always there, and he's quite the competitor. So I don't fall into that and say he's not himself anymore. I mean, 1 year is not going to get me off who I think he is.